Okay, I guess pick up where I left off at Psalm 22. And I'm finding the hidden formats in Psalms, which is revealing the first writer's formats in Psalms. So let's continue. Bring this up. Go here. Lights are on. Looks good enough. This here is the text that I'm starting with. New American Standard 1977. This looks like it's going to be a long one. Well, about an hour if I hurry up. My L, why have you forsaken me? You are far from my deliverance. Oops. Editing faster would help. You are far from my deliverance. And my words are my groaning, I guess. I don't know. My Creator cried out by day, but you did not answer, and by night I have no rest. Yet you are holy, you who are enthroned upon. Huh? That's kind of odd, but that is odd. That upon the praises of Israelis, of Israel would be really Israelis. Those are the people. And they're the ones that would be the ones praising. In you our forefathers trusted. Forefathers trusted. They trusted you, and you delivered them. Didst. Let me write that word down. I'm trying to get rid of all the extra text that does this old English. So, wow. Didst. Okay, now that that's under control, deliver them. To you they cried out, and were delivered in you. They cried out, okay, and they were delivered. In you they trusted, and were not disappointed. I am a worm, not a man. I doubt that. That's just stupid words. I am a worm and not a male. A reproach of men and despised by they'd be despised by foreigners. All who see me sneer at me. They separate their lips and wag their head. saying commit yourself to YV. What kind of person would get to write text like this in commit wag the head saying commit yourself to YV. Whatever. Him deliver him. Let him rescue him because he delights in him. That's just weird. Why would the text be saying, I mean, allowing something like this to be in there? This would be like a pagan crying out. Yet you are who did bring me forth from my mother's womb, from my mother's womb. Has to be. I mean, you gotta at least give her credit, don't we? Yet you are he who brought me. You did make me trust. You did make me trust. What's there's a word missing there. Trust. When I was upon my mother's breast, when I sucked when you gotta say that. I mean, you can't just say upon. That's dumb. When I sucked upon my mother's breast. Upon you, I was cast. Upon you, I was cast from birth. You have been my. This word is getting to be God here, isn't it? You have been my. You have been my God from my mother's womb. Many balls have surrounded me. Okay, now that's definitely a space here. This almost sounds different text. Many balls have surrounded me. Strong balls from Bashan. Okay, now this here, Bashan, that, when we're talking this word, oh, I need maps that are from what time? I'm trying to see what maps I have available to me. Okay, let me open up here. From Adam to Joshua. Yeah, because Bashan was at the time of Moses going to the promised land. They were above Edom. So what do I have here as text? Okay, getting closer. They sent the spies out. Promised land. No, I got the... I need the battles that they fought. Okay, that's entering. Come on, where's the battles? No, I've got... No. It's kind of important. You'd think I'd have it. I wasn't ready for this for one thing. Okay. Here's what I've got. Bashan is supposed to be a king somewhere in here. I couldn't find enough text to really say he existed. But I know that Moab and Ammon, they existed because there's a lot of text of what had happened. And this area here would have been Bashan. But what I'm showing you here is that this is when Moses leads Israel to the promised land. Moses only got right about where, yeah, right here where I've got, they crossed the river Jordan right about here, for the simple fact that here is where, after they battled, the green line. Let me see, I should blow it up here a little bit. Maybe you can see more if I show it this way. Let me see, how am I doing? Yeah, it's over here on this side of the screen, but the object is this is the green that they went up and conquered. Then they come back to meet the people that had stayed there. Then Moses went up here on a mount to overlook the hill country of Israel, or the promised land. Now, with that said, Moses sent a message to Cheyenne. Where's Sihon? I think that was the leader of Moab. But this Bashan guy here, this could be Moab, okay? Because as much as you're seeing me play with words here, this is just telling me, I'm trying to date the text, okay? And this would be, but they weren't strong because they killed them. So I don't know what the deal here is of what's going on here in the text. This I might have to change this to Moab. Might have to change that because they did come out in a large force. Now it was the Amaleks that wouldn't go, they wouldn't let them through up into the promised land. That's why they had to go around. I'm reading and I'm just not seeing this story. See, when it refers to all the descendants of Jacob, now we know that he's called Israel. So who's using the word Jacob? Why would Jacob be here? There's no battles. There wasn't enough. They went into the promised land before they went into Egypt, so this can't be. This is so odd that you surely can't sing this. And the story is just, why have you forsaken me? Far from my deliverance. Now, what kind of person would be allowed to be able to put something like that into text to be remembered without telling us he's crying out that their forefathers trusted in him, but he turns around here and he says, I'm a worm and not a male, because the people, and that would have to be other fellow Israelis, they all sneered at him, and that would be, he can't be a king. Wag his head, delights in him. So, cast me from birth, the trouble near me. And then he starts out just lying that this happened, because this never happened, okay? They never surrounded anybody. They encircled me like a lion. No, I am poured out like water. How can a commoner, because he's not a warrior, he's not a believer. Now there's bands of evildoer have encompassed him. I don't know why his pierced his hands and feet. I can count on my bowels. Stare at me, they divide my garments among them. This is almost as if somebody is trying to add text into the after knowing about Jesus, because they divide my garments among them. Well, who is he to have his garments divided among them? See, they cast lots. But you have not been far off. You have helped hasten to my assistance. No, this is just opposite of what he says up in the beginning. And that's kind of like why I've got these separated here, because this text here changes so abruptly. I mean, just story-wise, telling, or as a writer, and now, so these two are not the same, okay? And there's nothing really here of meaning. They divided garment. Let me keep reading here, because who would call Jacob, the son of Jacob, glorify him? You who fear YV, praise him. All you descendants from Jacob, glorify him, and stand in awe of him, and descend, all you descendants of Israel. Now, the difference between Jacob and Israel, they're the same. So what's this descendants of Israel and descendants of Jacob? This guy doesn't even know who he is when he's writing, or who he's writing to. Here YV hears him. Come to my praise God. Now see, for the kingdom is YV's. That's not true. Um, our Creator called him his nation, not his kingdom. Kingdom is an earthly thing, or for us to understand who our king is in heaven. His YV's, he rules over nations. For our kingdom is YV's. No, see, this is like they're, again, almost like it's tying to this promised land talk. Even who cannot keep his soul alive. This guy doesn't even know that the soul lives forever. Prosperous will serve him. Servant, it will be told of YV to the coming generations. They will come and declare his righteousness to a people who will be born that has performed it. No, this is just crap. This is notice how this writer has a hook between this side and this side, and this side and this side, and this side and this side, and this side and this side and this side and this side. I mean, you can tell this writer here, oh, see, sneer at me. And this would mean that they had to, if I would continue, it has to hook. They have to have something here on the other side there. Then they separate with their lips and they wag their heads. The word saying would have saying. Commit yourself to YV, let him do it. Rescue because he delights. See, this guy doesn't, I mean, this, how does he get to even write anything? I mean, he's a commoner, if that, and how can I mean, even if it's a scribe just putting stuff into the text, I mean, he's not very wise scribe. I'm going to declare this one just a bunch of bullshit, and I'm going to throw it out. I'll never use this text. I don't see why you would use it either. There is just too much wrong going up and down here, and there's too many pieces. You've seen how the other ones are going together really good, and how I can find, and the story continues. I mean, the story goes, I mean, verse after verse, even though they've got him and he and those all switched around, it flows, but this one's going back and forth, and all of a sudden this is absolutely not true. This is not true at all. I mean, there is not a point anywhere in the Hebrew text that says this or mentions this story, and because they're wiped out when Moses going into the promised land. So how can they have surrounded him and encircled him? They didn't do that. I mean, let me show you this here. Let me see, how do I get that up on the screen? You know, when Moses came up through here and conquered and then come through there, that was the end of it. They didn't exist anymore. This is just a liar. I mean, how can dogs have surrounded him? A band of evil pierced my hands and my feet. No, it's gone. All of this. I'm just gonna go like this and just say goodbye to a liar, unknown writer of garbage. And he doesn't even do a very good I mean, I'm sorry, but this is just nothing. This is nothing. This just proves that there is crap in the Bible.